What is up? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Back with some more Resident Evil Reverse gameplay for you. But today I'm going to be talking about some news I recently heard about the Resident Evil 4 remake. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, one thing that a lot of fans have been very adamant into, I have no idea what that guy was doing, but one thing that fans have been very adamant about in terms of hoping that doesn't happen with the other remakes, especially 3, is that they obviously don't want things cut from the original one, with it having a lacking experience. And I'm not here to argue if I'm someone who rather things be different, you add different things, take out old things, or keep everything the same and just add to it. At the end of the day, a fun game is a fun game, but I think we all can agree not having things and not having something in its place is probably the worst case scenario. And obviously, Resident Evil 3 Remake had a, even though I did enjoy it, had a lot of things lacking. But one news that just recently came out is that they had a recent issue in Edge magazine. I'll leave the link in the description in case you want to check it out. But basically, um, they were saying how they divided Resident Evil 4 into 3 different areas to develop the village, the castle, and the thing that we're going to be talking about, the island. And because we hadn't seen the island yet, it wasn't in the map of the collector's edition, and people thought, oh my god, they're going to cut the island. Or I heard the funny thing that they're just going to make it Nest 3, as Nest 1 and 2 were in 2 and 3 remake. But the island, not only that, they're also going to expand on it. They're going to add a lot more to it. But I'm not here to talk about, oh, yeah, I'm happy about that, because obviously I am. I'm going to talk about the reaction to it, because guys, I'll be the first one to admit, I'm not someone that pays attention to what a lot of people think on the internet or fans and what they all see or think. What I feel and think is what I feel and think. And I'll be honest with you, I never knew that people really did not like the island section that much. Now, granted, to be fair, Resident Evil 4 is my all-time favorite game, and I get it that some things are, they work for some people and some things don't, but I never knew it was like that divisive of a thing. And so I'm just here to talk about it. Maybe you guys can elaborate on it. What is so bad, or maybe you like the island section. What was so bad about the island section? I never understood what was the problem. And I was reading some people what they thought, and it's too actiony. It doesn't live up to the other 2 sections. It has weird moments. And granted, Resident Evil 4 has a lot of weird moments, but I mean that's what makes it unique and memorable. But because the thing about it is like, obviously Resident Evil 4, I've always heard the arguments. Well, it's not an action, or I mean, it's not like a survival horror game. It's got elements of it, but it's more action. And my always thing is the game fun? Like, are we having fun playing it? That's the most important thing. You could be the most horror-based game in the world, but it could be boring as shit. Make the game fun. If the game's not fun, then that's where you have the issues arrive. But with the island section, I have a lot of memorable moments from that playing it. Like my first one, obviously, I think everyone can relate to this, is the Regenerator. If you didn't already know, the Regenerator is my all-time favorite Resident Evil creature, non-boss related, in all of Resident Evil. I love those little bastards. Those guys are just, they're awesome. I love the sound effects they make. I love the music that plays when he spots you. I like the way they move and walk. And I like how I found out many, many years after I played it, don't ever shoot off their feet. It makes them go faster and move a lot quicker. But another good moment I had is the big guys with the Gatling gun. Is, if you're familiar with the ladder strap, basically it's how you conserve ammo, and you basically climb up the ladder and let all the Ganados go up there, and you just keep knifing them to save your ammunition. Well, I thought I could maybe work on him. I didn't think it would knock him off the ladder, but I thought I could get a few hits on him and jump back down and keep doing it. But I didn't think that dude was gonna hop like 30 feet in the air instantly from the top, and I was like, oh my god, and I'm like running for my life. But and obviously you got some weird things. It's got some unique boss fights in there too. That's another thing that was unique by the island. Like, you had the U3, you had the Krauser fight. I mean, they weren't like your run-of-the-mill just boss fights. They were very unique and different compared to some of the other fights in the game. So you had a lot of differences, and I think that's what Resident Evil 4 really had a good blend of, is like a blend of kind of everything. You had a lot of different things happening in that game. You had, obviously the village section, the castle, and the island. They're all kind of three different set tones, and I like that because I don't want the same thing throughout the thing. So I like you have that variety. Cause, I think for instance, I'll give you a horror game that I love as well, but I think it has too much of the same thing, and I think it's probably its only thing I can really say is a bad thing is Alien Isolation. I love Alien Isolation, but I just think it's too much of the same thing and not enough like breakup and a little bit of the monotony, and maybe a little bit too long. I still love that game to this day, but it doesn't have like three specific sections divided amongst it that are different. And granted, maybe it's hard to do that because it is on a space station, but with the island, I've never had a problem be like, oh god, it's the island. Oh god, here we go again. I've never had that feeling. To be honest, I don't know which section of the game I like the most, honestly, but it's just, I don't know. I've heard people complain about it. But whatever the reasons may be, those reasons don't bother me. And one thing I'm just gonna say right now, a lot of things that bother a lot of people don't really bother me. There's a few things I can agree and relate to, but too actiony. I don't really care about actiony. It's not the first time we've had Resident Evil games have actiony moments or things exploding, blowing up. Weird. We have weird moments all the damn time. I think that's what makes the franchise so fun in the first place. I'm just trying to like honestly think off the top of my head. It's been a little while since I played the island section, but it's just, I think the only thing I could maybe get personally is that with the way the controls are set and how you have a lot of enemies that shoot things at you, and you have to stop in place and find them, it can get a little weird and awkward. But you know what? You know damn well with the of how things are today, they can easily make that a lot better. So if that's maybe the complaint, I guess I could sort of see that. But at the end of the day, I think that's one of the things that makes survival horror games so entertaining in the first place, is that you have things that like are frustrating, but I think it adds to them being enjoyable, if you get my drift. Like, just frustrations maybe in the controls or how things set up. If you're breezing through a survival horror game, and granted, I guess I'm not a fair comparison because I have a whole 2+ decades of it. I mean, not two, I guess 2+, I don't know, but at least 15+ years of experience playing survival horror games. When you have that experience, it's kind of hard to say that. But if you're breezing through a survival horror game and it's not frustrating you, then it's probably not very good. You need ones that frustrate and piss you off and challenge you. So those little things I think are made to give that challenging experience. But I can get the frustrations, but I also think that's what makes a good survival horror game in the first place, if you're not getting pissed off at it. But because we've had there, because I remember probably the most frustrating part of Resident Evil 4, the hardest part in my opinion in Resident Evil 4 easily, is that whole segment in the castle where you're trying to, you and Ashley are trying to raise up the little draw thing, not the drawbridge you get in the castle when we're already inside. You have the things appearing in the water thing, and you have all those armored cultists and the ones with the archer arrows, and then everyone coming with the shields. And I think that's the hardest part in the entire game. I wonder how that's gonna be done in the remake, but overall, I don't get it. We're seeing that, and a lot of people are like, oh my god, why didn't they take it out of the game? Like, take it out of the game? Like, that's a huge part of the game. Like, why would you ever want to take it out? I mean, at the very least, if you're that unhappy about it, I guess make it better, but I didn't see what was so bad about it. But once again, that's what I feel. I'd like to hear what you guys feel. Are you a fan of the island section? Are you one of those people that didn't like the island section? Let me know what it is about it you don't like, and is it something that they can change for the better, or is it something you just wish just didn't happen? They did something completely different. But I don't know. I never had these problems. I played it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had some fun, good times with it. And the fact that they said they're going to add to it, I wonder what that could mean. What they're going to add to it. What they're going to put into it. But regardless, that is going to be it. Hopefully, you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hopefully I can see you guys back on the next one. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I hope to see you all later. Peace.